What would you say to a CEO or to a founder who would simply back this off as a socialist fad? Can you make a business case for employee ownership?
there, there's certainly a business case for it. There's a demonstrable uptick in productivity, something like
Mm-hmm.
4%. There's an improvement in general employee morale. There's a reduction in employee turnover, and improvements in employee engagement. So you take something like a 4% increase in productivity, and you know, free productivity essentially. Then it becomes pretty clear that this is something that isn't. You're not competing with productivity when you implement these sorts of measures. People work harder when they feel like they have skin in the game, when they care about
Yeah.
what they're doing, when they feel connected to something. At a macro level, the other thing I would say is, you think about the recession that we have right now, and that's because of how we use monetary policy to basically manage the swings of demand, right?
Mm-hmm.
And part of what employee ownership will do is it will create a more stable demand, and so you don't have to drop interest rates, for instance, in order to stimulate demand, because everyone still has enough. Even if you got job losses for whatever reason, people have backing of capital, so they're still able to contribute to the economics by creating demand. And what that means is then, as you drop interest rates, usually you overshoot. You overshoot where you actually want to be in terms of inflation. Then you have to back that off by increasing interest rates. Again, you won't have to do that anymore because your demand's more stabilized. So I think there's a real macro argument of thinking about this as well. We've got old habits from the sort of the early 1900s that are all about making sure we have money in people's pockets, and we use monetary policy generally to do that. I think that there are more clever ways to do it that won't create the sort of bust boom cycles that we see today. Just sort of smooth out the cycle.
Yeah, for sure. I was very skeptical at the start when you first introduced this concept. I definitely just batted it off as, some type of socialist fad, which I didn't really back at the start. But once I looked at the results, and I guess the proof is in the pudding, as the saying goes, the results are pretty exceptional.